Happy day everybody, my name is Jeremy and this is Barbecue Elementary. Today we're going to be making 2 racks of ribs 2 separate ways. One with Honey Hog from Meat Church, the second a Ugandan fusion, my own recipe. So let's go. First of all, thank you so much for watching my videos over the past couple weeks. It's been super fun to make them for y'all and I hope you enjoy this one. I spent quite a bit of my young adulthood abroad in Uganda and I always kind of wanted to make a Ugandan style spare rib, so I found these racks at Safeway and decided to do a little comparison. I mostly use mustard as a neutral binder, so I figured it would be a good one for this since you won't really taste it after the cook. I started with black pepper and laid it on pretty thick, then went with some beef bouillon for the next layer. Next, I went with coarse kosher salt from this really sweet salt cellar from Matheson Cookware. Then some curry powder, which might be the single most important ingredient in this recipe. Then I flipped it over and did it again on the meat side. After that super complicated first rub was finished on the first rack, it was time to start the second one. This one was way easier as I only used Honey Hog from Meat Church and mustard as a binder. I definitely had to doctor this rack a little bit. There's this meat flap hanging over and then these 2 bones on the edges that for sure would have burned up if I would have left them. Now, if you've never used a Meat Church rub, I highly recommend them, especially the Honey Hog that I'm using on this video and the Honey Hog Hot. They both are really nice, really consistent, and always have an incredibly beautiful color. This cook, I knew I wanted a long wrap phase so that I could put some goodies in the foil, and so I decided on the 3-2-1 method to make it really easy. For the first 3 hours in the 3-2-1 method, I usually spritz about every 30 minutes to an hour to make sure everything stays moist. To put in the wrap for my Ugandan ribs, I decided to go with 3 pretty common flavors in Uganda. Garlic, ginger, and these little Thai chilies, which are usually little and red, but I can only find green ones in my local grocery store. Then, as the ribs were just about to get to the 3-hour mark, I decided to get some foil ready. I always use 2 layers each time, that way I don't poke a hole on accident and lose all my goodies. For the base layer in my Ugandan ribs, I decided to use bacon grease to build up some more of that sweet, rich, porky flavor. Then I laid in the garlic, ginger, and some of those little Thai chilies to add some spice. This might be a bit redundant to say because I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it, but make sure to put the ribs meat side down, and I always add a little extra flavor on the bone side. Then wrap them up tight, making sure not to poke any holes in the foil, because if you do, all that stuff will just run out and into your smoker. Everybody uses this word, but put 4 pats of butter down, a bunch of brown sugar, and then I usually put a little bead of honey, if not 2 or 3. And then the same deal, grab your Honey Hog ribs, put them meat side down, put a little flavor on top, and wrap them up tight. Hold on. I used a pretty simple glaze for my Ugandan ribs using honey, Jerby's Riby sauce, and this Royco, which is a very popular bouillon in Uganda. And then I used this Blues Hog Champions blend as the glaze for my Honey Hog ribs. And after 2 hours wrapped up tight, it was time to glaze and let them ride for one more hour. I don't know if it's really possible, but it always kind of feels like I'm cheating barbecue when I use meat church rubs. The colors always turn out amazing. After an hour of letting these ribs cook and the glaze is set, it was time to cut them up. There's always going to be room for improvement, and this cook was no different, but these ribs were pretty darn good. You can see they're tender enough to wrap around my arm without breaking apart, really easy to cut as I could see the meat pulling away from the bones. Then when I took my first bite, it left that really nice half-moon mouth-shaped thing that everybody's going for. Really sweet from the Honey Hog, smoky from the Traeger, really good in my opinion. Now it was time to try my Ugandan style ribs. They probably could have been a little bit more tender, and I could probably dial the glaze in to be a little bit more attractive, but I threw on some juices that I still had left over from the wrap, and let me tell you, it was amazing. Perfectly garlicky, perfectly gingery and sweet from the honey, and the Royco and bouillon played really, really well with the salt and black pepper. I would definitely give this a try. Thanks a million for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to follow me along on my journey through Barbecue Elementary.